For the first time this week, I am doing a build. I have had my time otherwise occupied with a lot of pickups. I've just been getting a lot of deals. I'm actually watching a deal right now as we speak for some more GPUs. So unfortunately, especially during the weekdays when there's traffic and I've got to pick things up on people's work schedules, unfortunately, the traffic basically eats up my build time. So this is the first day I've had a chance to do a build. So this is going to be actually my second high-end build for the week. I guess high-end. I guess it depends on your opinion of high-end. Some people would say this is low-end. Some people would say it's mid-range. For the types of builds I do, this is on the kind of very, very upper mid-range. I do some stuff slightly higher than this, but this is kind of the highest end that my mainstream builds go. So as you can see, we've got a full RGB setup here. This is a tempered glass case. This is a NZXT H500. So as far as hardware, this is an X570 AM4 build. We've got a, what is this? This is it's an ASUS Tuff of some sort. I can't remember the exact model, but it's an ASUS Tuff X570. We've got a Corsair liquid cooler on here. We've got a EVGA Geforce RTX 2080 Ti, very nice GPU. What else are we running here? 32 gigs of, again, Corsair. Actually, this is a largely Corsair build. We've got Corsair AIO, Corsair memory. What was the other? No, I guess it's not all Corsair, but lots of Corsair. No, Corsair power supply. You'll see it during the build, but we went with a Corsair, I think it was an RMX, RM750. It's a 750 watt Corsair RM something or another. I don't remember the exact model. This one, I didn't do an auxiliary storage drive, but it does have, don't mind those. Actually, that might be my deal. Let's see what we got. Guessing you guys are going to dig watching me do deals. Oh. Ha ha! This guy is out of his mind. He thinks I'm going to give him what I have posted for 1080s for a pair of 970s. Buddy, what is it with people? I would show it here, but I don't want to like do the whole doxing thing or whatever. I don't want to get banned or, you know, how people are. So anyway, though, so yeah, just a nice, oh yeah, as I was saying, so we have a single high-end Aorus branded 1 terabyte NVMe. So yeah, nice, nice. I guess we're going to go with upper mid-level build. Looks nice. The case was technically unbuilt in when I got it, but there's a few scuffs and scratches on it now, but it was an easy build because I didn't have to clean it out. So anyway, if you want to actually watch me do the build, it's going to be the full build on video. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, stay tuned. Otherwise, I guess you'll start seeing my game demo videos pop up for this over probably a few of them tonight and maybe over the next day or so. So stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. It is midweek build time. I have absolutely not hit my goal of a build a week, but that is okay because part of the reason why is that I have had to blow several days picking up parts. So, unfortunately, parts are necessary. And deals are, unfortunately, not necessarily readily available, which means I got to get them when the getting's good. So, here we are. Let's start with a cooling system first. So we are going to do a cooling system first build. And we are shooting for a 1 hour build on this sucker. Maybe less. I would really very much like it if this was one of those one of those 45-minute builds so that I have time to do the edit and get it up. But I do have a guy offering me a pair of GTX. He didn't say. They were either 1080s or 1080 Ti's. I've been kind of hit and miss with people as far as the pricing. Had a lot of people that they see my price and they're like, well, I'm going to offer him, will he buy the GPUs for twice what he has them posted, what he has posted that he'll take? And I'm like, yeah, no. So for those curious, I am looking for GTX 1080s for $60. And I am looking for GTX 1080 Ti's for $80. Now, once you factor in not delivery, but pickup, the time it takes to go do a pickup, especially around here. I'm in the Seattle area, and these are workday pickups. So I'm spending. I did one yesterday. You can see the video on my channel, and it took me. I didn't really comment much on it, but it took me like 4 hours to do that pickup. Probably 4 hours, and it wasn't the seller's fault. You know, they don't know where I'm located or not located. Like, that's not their problem. I'm just saying, once you factor it all in, yeah, it took me 4 hours to go of time to get it. It probably took me, I don't know, $10 worth of gas, and that's with an insanely fuel efficient car too. I have the most fuel efficient non-electric, non-hybrid car that you can buy. So once you factor that all in, that $40 GPU was probably more like a $75 GPU, really. Especially once you factor in the lost opportunity cost on that of being out picking up a deal rather than at home doing a build. So you got to kind of balance the two. I mean, I only have so much time. But yeah, I mean, an $80 1080 Ti is really $110 or so 1080 Ti. But this guy has not specified exactly what it is that he's got, so I don't actually know yet. He just said, he's got two. What did he say? I've got his message right up in front of me. What did he say? He said he's got two matching GPUs with the adapter. I'm not entirely certain what with the adapter, quote, with the adapter means. I can only, the only guess I have is he's got like an SLI setup, and the adapter that he's referring to is the SLI bridge. But the fact that he's referring to it as, quote, the adapter doesn't give me a lot of hope that he... Oh, wait, is that him? Ooh, that's him. Let me, actually, no, I'll just leave this running, and I will edit out anything if I decide to take it out. Let's see what he's got. I just messaged him and just said, what are they exactly? Because I don't even actually know what he's got. Like I said, the fact that he refers to what I think is an SLI adapter as an SLI bridge, he's referring, if I'm right and it's an SLI bridge, he's referring to He's referring to that as the adapter, which suggests that he doesn't know what he's talking, or at least he doesn't really know what he's doing, which suggests that he may have something like SLI. I mean, not a lot of people did 1080 SLI. Like, that wasn't really a thing. I mean, a few people did it. People did it occasionally, more as kind of a flex thing, but that wasn't really like a thing, you know what I mean? So, what the heck? I guess that goes the other way. Interesting. Okay, so how are we going to want this? Like that. Yeah, I mean, usually that's the way you do it. You don't really... Yeah, it's got the Corsair thing. Yeah, that's really the only way you do that. So we're going to do fans with the fan plugs going down that way. I screw this up probably half of the time. And it just occurred to me I'm going to have to source my own fan my own fan screws too, because this does not have doesn't have long screws. It's actually kind of interesting. So I may, depending on how solid I'm feeling this guy is, I don't just like say, like the moment somebody messages me, hey, I have GPUs. Like, it's funny. People think at this point in time, people are so ridiculous with GPUs that they think that they have a block of freaking gold in their hand. Like, it's that bad. People don't seem to understand that the block of gold is only if they have like current or last gen 80 class or up. Like, everything else, it's just an old GPU. Like, your old 1080 is not a block of freaking gold, okay? It's a commodity item that should be dirt cheap today, and I'm the only one that's even looking for them. Nobody else even wants GTX 1080s. I have figured out how to do builds that people actually want with 1080s in them, but nobody is looking for a standalone 1080. Like, that's the only people who want standalone 1080s are also GPU collectors, such as myself. But if I'm looking for standalone 1080s, I'm probably going to be looking for, like, if I'm looking for standalone 1080s for collecting, like, I'm probably going to be looking for specific models of 1080s. Like, I'm not just looking necessarily for your whatever rando 1080, you know, your whatever 1080 you've got. Like, I might not necessarily be looking for that specific one. And I'm trying, except for a few specific models, I'm trying to avoid buying multiple of the same one. So I'm definitely going to be into a second EVGA FTW3 1080 Ti. That's something I'd be into. And I'm going to be into probably a Kingpin 1080 Ti. I feel like as a proper GPU collector, I kind of need to own a 1080 Ti Kingpin. Like, that's like the apex of collectible GPU cards at this point, for the most part. I know somebody out there will probably try to tell me that it's like some old 3DFX card or something, which I don't really agree. I think that GPUs that are like pre-mainstream gaming, like I feel like real true mainstream gaming and mainstream like high-end gaming GPUs, really I feel like it started with PCI Express, to be honest. Anything pre-PCI Express, because before PCI Express, it was like gaming was a lot more niche. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, there were tons of people gaming back in the AGP days. That's true, but it was nothing like it was after like NVIDIA 6000 series, and then even more so with 8000 series. 8000 series was when it really took off, in my opinion. Honestly, it probably really coincided with World of Warcraft in 2005, I think is when it was. I think it was 2005. I know I was selling systems for World of Warcraft starting in like, I think I got into it like really seriously selling systems. I got into it around 2006. I was doing it in 2005, but like I didn't really get serious until 2006. Because that is when I got fired from my job. Okay. Yeah, I rode out the 2008 thing. I rode that out as a full-time used computer seller. I was mostly sourcing like bulk quantity. The thing you see most of the people today get started in, which is the idea of converting an old office machine to a gaming desktop by dropping a GPU in it. Like, I was into that whole gig back then. I've mostly gotten out of that because I find that if I really watch for the deals, I can source the parts to do a custom build for about the same price, for about the same hardware, and as far as grade, and it's just, for the most part, given a choice, most buyers really are going to prefer a, oh, is that what I think it is? Oh, we're going to have to do this. Most buyers are really going to prefer a custom build in, and I got to keep this centered. I got the camera positioned a little bit differently today than I normally do, so. But yeah, most buyers, given a choice between an ugly Dell Optiplex box and like the builds that you guys see me doing on here, like, why would you want that Dell Optiplex box if you can get for very close to the same price and very close to the same hardware something like this? Like, why would you even bother? At least that's my opinion on the matter. Okay, so we've got our cooling system fully installed. So let's get all of this out of the way. Let's get all these wires out of the way, and then we're going to put in our motherboard. Because that the way that this one is set up, we're going to have kind of a tight build here, and so this is going to be kind of a pain to keep out of the way, so I'd rather just get it attached sooner than later. Okay, so we're putting in our I/O shield. Let's try to keep that centered. I/O shields can actually be quite a pain in the butt sometimes. Okay, I need all of these cables to just be out of the way. So it looks like this just has a single single. Come on, just stay. Thank you. Stay. Okay, so we're going to stick our board in. This is tight. Okay, so I'm going to have to hold this thing out of the way and then kind of slot that in. There we go. Okay. I guess we can kind of do this. Keep it like... But it's going to scratch up. This case has kind of a weird finish on it, so you got to be careful with it. Okay, let's see what size screws are. I think it might be using larger size. Is this larger? No, maybe not. Oh, maybe. Okay, it is larger size. I've really been seeing a lot more of the smaller sized case screws lately. Ooh, did I get a message? What the heck? This is pretty funny. I've messaged quite a few people on systems over the last few weeks, and I've even tried to be nice about it. I'm lowball. I'm not, well, define lowball. Like, is offering somebody less than they have their item posted in and of itself necessarily a lowball? Is it a lowball if I offer them what the item's actually worth? Like, the thing is, all these people I'm seeing trying to sell systems, they're trying to get what I get out of systems, and like, quite frankly, they're not willing to do what I do. They're not willing to do delivery. They're not willing to do demos. Not the kind of extensive demos that I do. They're not doing these builds on video. Like, they're not doing any of this extra stuff. And yet they think they're going to get the same amount out of their builds that they see like sellers like me get. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. Darn it. Most buyers, or I'm sorry, most sellers, the way that they do this is they look around, maybe they look around a little bit on Facebook, they look a little bit on OfferUp, they look a little bit on eBay, mostly eBay because eBay is the easiest one to abuse, and they say, oh, this person got that much for their build, so mine must be worth that much too. And I'm like, and the thing is, like, that one lucky person got that high number, but no one else is getting that high number. Like, 9 out of 10 people are not going to get that insane high number for their build. I've been accused of having high prices, but to be totally honest, when I look, my prices are pretty much dead in the center. I just realized, oh, wait, that was what I wanted. Oops, how long? Okay, we got like 8 more minutes. I forgot my camera screen goes dark when I'm doing this. It's a little notch on the thermal paste, but it'll be fine. Oops. What the heck? The heck is going on here? Okay. So, this is actually going to have an interesting look to it once it's done. Where is my... Gosh darn it. There they are. Okay. So now that's doable. It's a little tight with the way that these cables are curved, but it's definitely doable. Those are actually going to be really rigid, to be honest. And actually, hopefully, this is tight enough. No, I think it is. Actually, I think it's like dead on the correct tightness. Come on, go on. Oh, that's funny. That is like dead on. It's not loose, but it's not tight. It's like, yeah, it's like dead on. Let's check the back. Yeah, no, it's just not. It's not like super tight, but it's not loose either. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of. Let's see, can we get that focused a little better? I think that's about as best as we're gonna get. Oh, yeah, okay, now that's focused just right. M.2 is already installed. Okay, and then we should. CPU, it looks like it does not have. Oh wait, yeah, it does. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of thread the cable for the fan. Okay, there we go. You guys know me. I like my hidden cabling. Okay, bam. So that'll go right there. Okay, good to go. So there we have our assembled cooling setup. Then next step is going to be our power supply. Let's see here. How many do we have? Usually I only leave one Molex on them, and usually even that Molex isn't actually being used for anything. Almost everything has switched over to SATA at this point. Which couldn't come soon enough. It had been kind of a pain in the butt for a while because you'd have like all your SATA devices, and then you'd have like that one item that needed a non-SATA. So you'd have to have a whole, or yeah, non-SATA, and so you'd have to have a whole strand when you could have just plugged in your loose end, which was kind of a pain in the butt. But it appears that we have almost completely moved past Molex. Like the most basic, the most basic fan kits I'm coming across now are typically SATA powered. So we're getting pretty close to done with the Molex style plug. Dang it. Power supplies are one of those things that just, unfortunately, I get what I get. Sometimes I have a large quantity of of high quality. I don't really buy, okay, that's kind of unfair. I don't buy low quality power supplies anymore. Like I don't buy low ones. It's just not every power supply I buy is a top tier either. And the other thing to keep in mind too with power supplies is that these are pre-owned builds, right? And so they've been somewhat tested before I get at them. So if I get a power supply and I get it from a buyer where I'm reasonably confident that they're generally being honest about, shall we say, the disposition of the system they're selling me or the parts they're selling me. Typically, if I get a build or a set of parts and then I put another like 5 or 6 hours of game testing on the power supply, like I just, at that point, I'm pretty satisfied that it works. Okay, so we're doing kind of our primaries first. And then I typically kind of build everything else around our primary plugs. This one's actually, oh, that's going to be actually kind of hidden behind the, underneath the, hopefully that'll work. It's tight though. There we go. Ooh, and that could be a problem. Well, we'll see. I think it'll be fine. Okay, I gotta stop and restart the camera. Okay, so then, what do we want to do next? This case is in used condition, but it is a brand new case. Okay, what do we want to do here? Probably, at least that heavy duty plug, that heavy duty, whatchamacallit, oh gosh, the rubber thingy on there, on the main power plug, at least that'll be out of the way, or hidden, because it's not visible in this setup. Okay, so then we're probably not, well, I'll probably do it off camera if I decide definitely to use it. The fan controller. Kind of unsure on this one. Okay, so this is PCIe power, which is going to go... no, that'll work perfect. It's going to go right here. Video card, so we're good there. And then, let's see here. This is not going to get used because, or no, that one's going to get used. Surprisingly enough, oh, and this will be an easy, easy A on my front panel connector because it's a single in the standardized format. A lot of the newer power plugs just have the same. Pretty much everyone has standardized to a specific front panel connector. Some brands will include a few extra items off to the side, but they effectively all have the same. They all have the same plug style. Okay, so this is gonna go down there. Yeah, right there. Okay, bam. Okay, and that's Luckily, this is a super flexible cable because it's going to be underneath there. And I'm going to have to do a little bit of... Okay, that's actually going to work good. Okay. They usually are less flexible cables, in which case we might have had more issues with it, but we don't, so we're good. Okay, now let's drop in, just because I want to make sure my memory fits right. It looks like you and you. So I am not going to use the built-in RGB on this case, and the reason for that is that the built-in RGB on this one is oh, whatchamajigger, it's RGB strips. And the problem with that is that if I try to do RGB strips, it's gonna screw with the lighting look of my ring fans. Like, you can do it, but it'll screw with the look that I was going for, and so I'm not going to actually use them. So, standard audio in our corner there as usual. So this is one of two nearly identical builds that I'm doing. I had a pair of GTX, or not GTX, RTX. Let's do that. I had a pair of RTX 2080 Ti's, and I was actually originally considering pairing them with 12th gen builds to do like mid-range 12th gen gaming builds. However, I ended up with a pair of RTX 3070s for kind of a better price than I had expected to get them for. And so I ended up using, that's all, that's completely invisible. Okay, cool, that'll be completely invisible over here. Okay, so we want to do all of this. You know what? We're going to remove this because we're not using, it's the wrong one. We're not using their, like I said, their fan kit. So, yeah, so that's just, okay, we're going to have to leave that one. Take that one out. It's a pain in the butt. Come on, okay. So that goes away. So that's just one less thing that we have to worry about now. Let's actually, let's put you right there. In the past, I typically just removed the NZXT stuff, but in this case, I'm trying to actually do this right. And you know what? The right way to do that was that, but that's okay. Let's leave that for now. Then we have this guy here, which is unneeded. So we will kind of twist that in there. Use a little of attachment as possible. So let's put that there. So this case has really good cable hiding measures. So most of this stuff will be completely invisible. So it doesn't have to be quite as perfect as I sometimes do. Okay, Let's do this. Let's move you over here. Just leave that for now. I guess I could do that. Can they fit? You both fit? Ooh, you do. I didn't think those would both fit. Okay, so let's actually put in our GPU. Apologize if some of that was off screen. Okay, so we've got a RTX 2080 Ti here. And it just occurred to me that okay, bam. So we put this in. Oh, and I forgot. 3-slot card. I always forget about that on these newer cards. Okay. What do they got going on here? So I'm going to use all three. Just like that. It's actually pretty solid, to be honest. So it's not going to be quite as clean as some of my builds, but it's not going to be bad. It's going to be a good looking build. It's just not going to be absolutely, utterly, and completely perfect like some. Okay. Oh, dang it. Oh, come on. Duh. Okay, there we go. So that is that. Actually, we're gonna see if we can get this right out the back of the card. I think so. Yeah, that'll be perfect. So then do that, and I am positive these are staying here at this point. So we're going to do a zip tie, kind of right there, if I can get it to stay. Nah, it's not going to stay the way I want. That's fine. We'll just do that. Okay. So that goes there. That goes there. Let's do these two together. So I'm trying to do this one with my more what do you call it? Come on, go. There. Sometimes these things can be a real pain. So I'm trying to do my less in-depth cable management that I've been doing. Okay. So we really just want the cables to be out of the way once the build is done. They don't need to be like every single item perfect the way I had been trying to do it for a while. Okay, and then let's do this. Get these guys out of the way. And I am, if the fan cables are long enough, I am strongly leaning towards attaching the fan controller right there to the power supply. So let's see. These long enough? Yeah, they are. So we're gonna go that route. That doesn't get used. So these two are gonna go up through here. Kind of off the side somewhere there. Okay. And it doesn't really matter. For now, we just need to get them plugged in and then go from there. So what we'll do... that's not what I wanted. That's okay. So let's do this. I'm trying to do them sequentially. Fan 1. Oops, let's do this too. Let's put these under here. Okay, 1. For some reason it's getting really hot in here. 2. Three. And 4. Okay. So then you can come out. Okay, and then this. Thinking the way we're going to do that is just like that. And that'll go that way. Just like that. And if anyone's curious, I'm not particularly concerned about a power supply heat. Let's see, how long of a video are we at? Looks like we got 13 more minutes. So we might be able to get this done in my hour goal. So let's shove that under there and let's do one here. The H500, which is what this is, locks the side panel in there, and then it just goes flat here, so nothing has to go under there. So we can, as long as it's up here or under, tucked under, we're good. Okay, and then we'll do, looks like those are just going to end up attached to the same thing there. Guess I can probably kill the zip tie that's there already. It's you. And put one more here. You know what? I just did a bad. Maybe. We'll find out in a minute. I might have to fix something here. I'll probably do it off camera if I have to, though. Okay, let's see if this thing... I'll know. I may have snipped the cable for the power plug. I won't know until I plug it in. Let's see. Where's power? Let's just do this. Okay, so we are on, and then let's see if power button turns this on. Okay, it did. Okay, I did not snip it, so that's good. Okay, so effectively, it's pretty much done. Let's see something here. Okay, that white. Okay, that's a good sign. Okay, everything works. So let's unplug it for a sec. Let's put. Oh, where did I put that? This thing goes here. So this case can. Come on. So this case could do that fancy side-mounted GPU thing you see sometimes, but realistically, it's not going to be good. You might be able to physically fit the GPU there, but then it would be right against glass. It wouldn't be good to do. Plus, you couldn't really do the plug or the riser right, and it would sit weird. It'd look odd. It just wouldn't be great. So, okay, so I'll be back. Well, no, I won't be. You guys have already. I keep forgetting this. You guys have already seen what this thing looks like. So you've seen more than I have at this point. So I hope you guys learned something watching this build, and thanks for watching.